Okay, you want to do layer 2, alright. There are a couple things that I do recommend to go for when you go in layer 2. So there's a couple talents that I do want to show you that are important in the Chaser fight and in the Bonekeeper fight that I do recommend you go for in your PvE slot. If you don't have them already, or if you're wanting to make a PvE slot, these are just some of the talents that I do recommend you go for. So obviously, you want to go for Warriors of Respite, as well as Spine Cutter. These are very important moves that will help you a lot in your layer 2 runs. I do recommend going Flame Charm if you want that passive healing with Flame Wisp. It's very important. It helps a lot in certain situations, and even in Chaser Fight, you can actually heal a lot with Flame Wisp. And yeah, let's just get into what you have to do in layer 2. So what you want to do is you want to turn around and go up this hill here. Alright, climb up here and dash through here. Once you're here, there's this building here, or there's this hut. You don't want to go in it, just jump over it. And then there's this light you want to pick up. After that, you can skip a whole bunch. This first stage, by going through here, you can just jump and then air dash. Basically, here's the door. You want to open this up. You have your vision altered, so for this, I will have an account that has not done layer 2 yet, as just to showcase where you have to go, even with poor vision. Make sure you look to the right when you enter through here. Keep looking right if the wind comes again. If it doesn't, just keep going, man. And now instead of going the long way, you can skip here. There's a massive skip right here. You can jump over that. And you don't have to climb the ladder. You can just scale them easily like that by just climbing. And then if there is wind, make sure you look to the left. Make sure you jump over there. Otherwise, just keep going, slide down. And next, you'll come up to 3 paths. Just go through the middle one. And you'll be able to clear your parasites. Just make sure you pay attention to the wind. The wind is very important in this situation. And once you come through here, you can clear your parasites. And then exit out again. Make sure you look to the left this time for the wind. Now you want to go to the right one. Just make sure you're looking to the right for the wind. And now here, you want to make sure you do not touch the parasite pit. This is a parasite pit pretty much. It looks like snow, but it actually is a parasite pit. You don't want to touch this, it's very dangerous. When you come in here, you can either wait for the spikes to fall, or you can try and dodge them. After that, you're going to fight the Bonekeeper. The Bonekeeper has a few set moves you need to be careful of. Sometimes he'll spawn right in front of you or right behind you. You want to use your mantras. He'll use the throwing move. Basically, with this throwing move, you want to parry it. So when it comes right before it hits you, parry. And then he'll do a slam move where bones will come up from below. Make sure you jump that. And then just M1 him. And he'll do a move where he will charge at you. Now you can either dodge this, or you can parry it. If you parry it, he will stop in his tracks and he will turn around and face you. And when he does that, just M1 him. And then he'll do a move where he charges up his right arm and then hits you 3 times. Just make sure you press F. You can press F once and you'll parry the whole thing. And then just M1 him. Next, he'll do this move where there's a sound indicator that will pop up, much like a ice eruption. When he does this, make sure you dodge. If you don't dodge, he will do a lot of damage. He'll grab you and do a lot of damage. If you guard break him, this is where Spine Cutter comes in big use. Make sure you roll cancel and M1 him from behind, and you'll do significant damage. you know, best of luck. I hope you kill him. Now you want to run through here. You can ignore that NPC over there. Go to the right. And then climb up this area here. And this is where you turn on the generator. And once you have the generator on, you want to track back to where you came from. So just make your way back to either the lantern, or I'll show you another place to go. If the fight with Bonekeeper has taken a long time, make sure you go back and clear your parasites. Otherwise, you could die to it. Just make sure you're paying attention to the wind. Slide down to this area. So basically, you can either go back to the lanterns and clear parasites, or if you have killed Bonekeeper pretty quickly, you want to jump from this area here. Basically, if you take 4 damage, it's okay. Just follow me. Once you see this black line, which is pretty much the cable from the generator, you're at the ignition base. And this is where you're going to get the union hook. You're going to come in here. There is a lantern here as well. This is where you can clear lanterns if you haven't cleared them at the first lantern checkpoint that I showed you before. And then talk to this NPC here that's leaning on the gear. Now you want to make your way out. And then as you make your way out, you turn right. Go through this direction, past the ladder. And now what you want to do is you want to take this union hook right here. This hook, sorry. I'm going to come up here and then follow this pathway. Now just make sure of this little drop here, but even if you do fall through, you can just climb back up again. Now as you get here, make sure you speak to this person right here. Once you've spoken to this guy, just keep going. Then speak to the main chief right over here. Here, this will activate the spear quest, where you can get Ethiron's gaze and have good vision again, like how my PvE slot is. Once you've activated the quest, talk to this guy here. He will open this gate for you and just jump down at the bottom here. And now you're inside the cave. What you want to do is head in, make sure you run as fast as possible to avoid these spikes. And right, when you're here, come through this area here with the vines dangling from the ceiling, and then you want to activate the floor so it falls. You jump down here, just follow the blue cubes, and then go left here. Make sure you're following the blue cubes, don't fall into this parasite pit here. Just keep following the blue cubes. And make sure you go as fast as possible here to avoid the spikes, because they do a lot of damage. And now you've made it to the spear. Now you want to jump down, you want to interact with it. And once you interact with it, there will be some carbuncles that spawn. Once the carbuncles spawn, you want to make sure you jump right out. Now pretty much you want to make your way back to the guy that you started the quest with. And to do so, just follow the blue cubes. Now from this blue cube, you want to turn left. And then turn right, and then you'll see this blue cube, and then you'll see this weird formation on the ground. Now you'll know you're in the right place. If you keep going this way, either a bounder or a bonekeeper will spawn. Just make sure you avoid it, wait for the spikes to fall, and then avoid whichever mob there is chasing after you. Make sure you take a U-turn, turn left, and then climb up these small rocks over here. Now once you've done that, you're pretty much at the first level again, where you fell through the ceiling area. You end up at this cube, and then just make a right. Make sure you go very quickly, because the floor will fall like that. Follow the route, go straight, and now you're back at the beginning. And now basically you want to go straight ahead and follow the cubes again this time, and then you want to make a left from that cube, and there will either be a Bounder or a Bonekeeper here. Just avoid it, and then you'll get to this Parasite pit. Make sure you climb up, and there's another cube there. You want to jump behind it, and then avoid those mobs, follow the cube, and here's the door. There's a lantern here that you can take. And this is where you climb up. And you can get Ethiron's Gaze. Now once you've got Ethiron's Gaze, what you want to do is you want to go fight Chaser. Just keep going, just follow my lead. You want to go back the way you came again. You want to jump over this, and then go back to that cube that we saw earlier, and this is on the way to Chaser. So now you want to be careful here. A lot of Bounders will spawn, just make sure you avoid them. Just climb up here, just jump dash, slide, jump dash, slide and jump dash. You want to take as less fall damage as you possibly can. Now don't worry if you get hit, just make sure you right click to roll to cancel your ragdoll. And just keep running. Keep running and then follow my lead over here. Just climb up here. Get up to this area. Now on the way to Chaser, this is a pretty good route to take. As long as you just don't fall. It's pretty dangerous here though, but just don't fall. Just follow this route that I'm taking. Watch out for these. What you want to do is you want to slide, jump, dash, and then get here. Watch out for that Bonekeeper, and just jump down here. Don't worry about taking too much damage, you'll be fine. And now you just want to follow this path here. You want to climb up. It is a bit tedious, but you'll get there in the end. And now you're basically at Chaser. So Chaser has a few movesets that you need to be aware of. He is quite tough on your first go, but you know, once you get the hang of them, he's not that hard. He's pretty easy. Yeah, and don't worry, you can AFK here just to Warriors of Spite and heal before you attack him. Don't worry, he won't attack you unless you speak to him, so you can Warriors of Spite at the moment. Just heal to full, and once you heal to full, you can speak to him. And when you speak to him, and you have Spine Cutter, you can roll cancel after the first set of dialogue, just say Ethiron's Wake, and then M1 him, and you'll do some extra bit of damage. So it's good to start off with good damage. And now what you want to do is, you want to break the blood jars. So if you see the blood trails, that's the blood jars that you are supposed to break. Now, he has a few attacks that he'll start sending at you. So the first one here he sent at me was 3 blood strikes. You want to make sure you parry that. Just parry individually. Or you can try and block it, but it does do a lot of posture. And then you want to break the blood jars. You want to react. Now he does do this grab move here that you can either block or you can dodge it. I prefer to dodge it so you can stay where you currently are because his grab does bring you to the center. Now he does do this fire eruption type of attack. You can either block, parry, or dodge it. Once again, he does the 3 attacks with the blood. Now you can also dodge it. You can dodge the starting few and then parry the rest. That is what I like to do personally. Make sure you parry that, and then he'll get onto the floor. Once he gets onto the floor, rush to the center and start hitting him. Editing troubles here. Forgot to say that you actually have to knock down Chaser by breaking the blood jars. So I cannot stress the importance of breaking those blood jars. Make sure you break them. Alright, back to it. Try and proc your Spine Cutter on him as well. And then once he vents you up, you can run back into the middle while he's laughing, and you can spot on him to get some HP back. So what you want to do basically is just keep breaking his blood jars. and keep dodging his attacks. And he will keep sending barrages of attacks. At first, if you want to get a feel for what his attacks are, you can just, wait it out, stare at him, watch him attack, and then react. Now he does do this ceiling attack where the spikes come falling down. Just make sure you try and avoid it. If you're stuck in the middle, just make sure you hold your block because they don't do any posture damage, so you can block it and not take any damage. They do a lot of damage, so make sure you try and avoid them. The best way to avoid them as well is just to stand at the edges like this. And when he comes down, just come and hit him. And keep spitting, just do the same thing. Now he does do this move where he does the 3 blood waves. Make sure you jump to avoid them. And that is pretty much all of his movesets. Now this is his first phase as well, so his first phase normally consists of breaking the blood jars and him hitting you with attacks. Make sure you also get the blood jars at the top as well, and dodge his attacks. Make sure you're using all your moves on him. And this is when the ceiling will fall. When the ceiling falls, make sure you try and avoid it. You can hold block or just run to the sides, the edges. He won't be able to hit you with them. But if you do get hit, don't worry. As long as you're not below half, you shouldn't take too much damage. Just make sure you're reacting to his attacks. Make sure you dodge. And just be calm. Just be calm. Don't worry. You've still got time on your light hook. Even if you die, you won't wipe. And just make sure you break all the blood jars. Now his second phase is when all the blood jars are down, and then he will come down like that, kind of like Warriors Just Fighting mid-air, but he'll come down much slower. If there's still one more blood jar, you don't really have to worry about it. At first, just hit him when he comes down, and when he goes back up, you can go back and break it. Just make sure you're proccing things like Spine Cutter and using all your moves well, and doing as much damage as you possibly can, as well as spitting at the end. Just make sure you always spit at him. And this is where he will start barraging you with attacks. Just make sure you react to them and dodge them. He does do a lot of damage after a while. And now, basically, on his second stage, you can just stand on this spike right here, and you will be able to avoid the blood waves, and just react to all of his other moves and parry them. Just make sure you're healing as well by spitting on him. Don't forget. And he should be dead. This is where he dies. So when he does that, just make sure you're standing in a high place so you can avoid the blood waves. And you can choose to stand in the middle. But if you do choose to stand in the middle, you have to parry the slam down attacks that he does. That does require a bit of timing practice. I don't even know how to do it properly. I normally just tank the attacks outside. It's only 1%. But if you're really low, just go into the center and try and avoid his slams. And there we go, you've beaten Chaser. Just be confident in yourself, do not panic, and just react to his parries, just react to his attacks, and block, parry, dodge. But yeah, that is how you do Chaser for the first time. You got it, man. Just best of luck. Alright, so there's two ways to get out of here. You can either jump deeper into layer 2, into floor 2, over there, or you can take the light hook back to Claris. Don't worry about falling into floor 2, because there'll be a barrier after you defeat Chaser. And yeah, that's it, man. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, be sure to DM me. And yeah, peace, man.